So I'm going to show you my favorite flashes for every single map on CS2, starting off with Anubis. So by far the best flash for this map is to come right here into this corner, find these little 3 dots right above the window here, and just left click at the right one. It seems like a super simple flash, but why I love it so much is your teammates can get all the way up here to where they're peeking connector or camera, and they're not even getting half blinded by it. Meanwhile, any of the enemies as they're running through here, they're going to get absolutely torched by this thing without any time to react whatsoever. Same with this position here, even if they're holding a super tight angle, there's just no reaction time whatsoever. It'll also get anyone standing, back behind this position on back sight. They just don't have any time to react. Even this corner right here is also going to get full whited. There's only 2 positions on site that aren't getting blinded by this, and it's this position right here. If they're up in heaven on the right-hand side, like holding an angle about like this, they're not going to get blinded, but generally whenever you're hitting A, you're going to have this smoked off. And the other is, of course, if they're standing up here on plat in this off angle. So clear this, smoke that, and you're going to have every single position taken care of on A site. And now moving on to Vertigo, I've probably made 3 or 4 videos featuring this flashbang. If you get stuck into this corner, find this little yellow marking on the I-beam and just do a left click through right above it. That's going to be completely team safe where it's not going to blind your teammates as they're running up, and it's just going to nuke pretty much every position all over site here. But since I've already shown you that one plenty of times, I'm going to add in one more bonus. If you go right here into this corner on the wall and just left click at the top right of this part of the crane, that's going to go all the way out here. It's going to full blind pretty much all of ramp, but more importantly, it's going to destroy anyone down inside yellow so that you can peek with this flash and just have so many free kills. I've gotten a ton of use out of this flashbang recently in the ESEA Open. Moving on to Mirage, I would say keeping it simple and just doing a simple left click throw at the top of this lamp is probably as good as it gets for pushing out onto A. You're going to clear out this position right here by just absolutely destroying them, and it also gets a lot of angles back here on site and just all around these positions. Another great flash that you can throw instead of that is coming right onto this kind of flat part of the wall and jump throwing at the top right of this portion of the building. That's going to go a little bit deeper and further out to where it's going to blind anyone standing up here on stairs, as you can see, and it's also going to get anyone that is standing behind default right here, or even on a tight angle like this. And throwing in one more bonus for Mirage, if you get a teammate stuck into this corner right here, they can just left click at the top of this little bar, and that's going to go all the way into apps, and it's going to destroy anyone standing up here pushing up. So if you have a teammate, positioned right here, they can peek off of this flash and just absolutely destroy the enemies as they're running up. I mean, look at the reaction time they have for this. It's definitely not much. Moving on to Inferno, I would say the best flash for banana control is coming up into this position right here and just jump throwing at this red sign. It's going to go all the way up here, and it's not going to blind your teammates at all, no matter where they're at. It's just not going to blind them. But every single position down on banana is just going to get full whited with no time to react whatsoever. Even if they're in this close position here, they're still going to get full blinded. And also, if they're top car, they're also going to get full whited from this flash. And after you've taken banana control, my favorite flash to throw is by coming to this little crack in the wall, aiming just above this light and doing a left click there. That's going to go on the opposite side of half wall, not blind your teammates, and it's super easy for them to peek and just absolutely destroy the guys that are just reading Braille on the other side of the wall. Moving on to Nuke, if you're the A site player, you can very easily break out this glass and just jump through at this little peak in the wires here. It's going to go all the way out here, blind everyone moving up on outside, and all of your teammates as they're standing in a position close to here. It's not going to blind them, and it's very easy for them to peek off of. Same with someone back here in Garage. If they're set up out here, the flash goes so high that even if they're very close, it's not even going to half blind them. I would say the most useful flash for ramp control is just coming up into this position here and just left clicking right above this little light on the wall. It's going to pop over, not blind your teammates as they're pushing up, and it's going to full blind anyone over here outside of hell or just out anywhere in ramp on this area here. And finally, if you want to flash yourself out of hut, you can come into this position and just left click at the top left of this electrical box. It's going to pop out, not blind you, and it's super easy to peek with. And if you want to pair that up with a second flash, you can just aim right at where these kind of wires hit the E-box and just do a run through. So you can pair that up, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you throw one that's going to go on the left side and one that's going to go out on the right, so that every position out here on site is going to be blinded as you're pushing out. And moving on to Inferno, obviously I would say the best flash for this map is the God Flash for A, where you just come right up here in Divider and you just jump through at this little intersection right here in the lines. It's going to go right on the other side of this. It's not going to blind any of your teammates until they get super far up onto site, but it's going to absolutely nuke pretty much every position on back site just like this. Another super nifty flash I like to throw for overpass is if I'm jiggling right here and I see someone long, I'll come over into this corner and just right click at the top of this balcony, and then I can peek with that and just absolutely destroy all these blind players that are running up through long. Shout out to Wraith for this one, but you come right into this position and go just to the left of this top railing here and do a simple jump throw. That's going to go over onto the right side of this to where it doesn't blind your teammates as they're running out. And it's going to full white anyone, you know, maybe standing back here where this bot is, or especially anyone in Toxic right here, or if they're holding an angle over here towards Graffiti, it also will full white. Moving on to Ancient, every time after I smoke mid, by just throwing this lineup, I will just bomb flashes by jump throwing at the bottom of where this kind of tree forks into this little line here. I'll just throw flashes just like this. They're super simple. They're not too complicated. Your teammates, they're not going to blind your teammates as they're kind of running out, right? It's super safe to them. But anyone running out to fight mid, well, it's going to full blind them without much time to react at all. For A side, it's always a good idea to just throw this flash as your teammates are running out because it's not going to blind them. And of course, anyone that happens to be looking this way, it is going to blind them. It's super easy to look away from, but hey, as your teammates are running out, it's a good way to just break up the fight. So also, if you don't like that one, you can just throw a flash at this back wall to where it's going to land behind this box and not blind you. But anyone on back sight here, as you can see, this flash is going to pop out and destroy them. And finally, if you're back here throwing smokes, you can just jump throw a flash right at kind of down here on the edge of this door, kind of below this black spot here. And that's going to pop up, and it's not going to blind any of your teammates as they're running up. They can even go all the way up and scale all the way into the corner without getting blinded by this. But anyone back here on short, moving up around any of these positions, they're going to get destroyed. If they're holding this angle, it's going to, you know, there's no time to react. As well as if anyone is peeking down onto Banana from back here, it's going to get them. Obviously, it's not going to get this far corner if someone's tucked back up in the cave, but it's a pretty good flash to throw, super safe to not blind your teammates, and it's going to get most of the positions on site. So yeah, I hope all these flashes help you out in your next CS2 Premier match, and you're able to get a few extra rounds because of it. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them down in the comments below because I love making videos that you guys want to see.